So now we will first talk about meta-ethics. So meta-ethics deals with the structure and content of morality. Structure and content of morality. It studies the inherent nature, character and attitudes of morality. And finally, it explores definition of various terms such as morality, values, ethics, etc. Okay. So what is mean by this? All the three statements. In simple term, first of all, we have to understand there were two classification, meta-ethics and the second one, the normative ethics. Okay. The meta-ethics part, we can say crudely, deals with the abstract part. Abstract parts means we can say the theoretical part. And the normative ethics deals with the application part. Okay. So when we will talk about meta ethics, we can say it will deal with the terms like the definition of morality, the definition of values, ethics, and etc. So in meta ethics, we learn what is morality, what are the values, what are ethics, and so on. Okay. So it in other terms, it deals with the inherent nature and character and attitudes of morality. What constitutes morality, what does not constitutes morality, and so on. And in normative ethics, we study what should I do, what should I not to do. Okay. So here now you will be able to understand that in simple term, meta ethics deals with the abstract part, the theoretical part of ethics. Okay. The structure and content of morality. Okay. It implies that what are morality, what are the morals, what are not morals, and so on. Okay. This will become more clear what is meant by metaethics when we will deal with the classification of metaethics. Okay. Now, in our table, we have studied that there are basically two classification. In the first classification, we are classifying metaethics into three categories, that is cognitivism, non-cognitivism, and quasi-realism. So first we will talk about this classification. Okay. So as per the first classification, the first category under metaethics is the cognitivism. Cognitivism. Now what it says, so it says that, or we can say it deals with the non-emotional components of metaethics. So if any question is asked that which type of or which branch of ethics does not include emotions, then you will say cognitivism. Cognitivism excludes or it does not deal with the emotional components, or we can say it deals with the non-emotional components of metaethics. Okay. If to understand it further, we can say that it deals with the declarative statements that are either true or false. Okay, very clear. So what it says is that in if we study cognitivism, then it will finally it can conclude that this is right and this is wrong. Okay. So it is not including any emotional part. Okay, this can be right, this can be wrong, not like that. It will directly say that yeah, this is right, this is true, or this is false, this is wrong. Okay. So directly declarative statements, no dilemma, no middle path, direct declarative statements that this is correct, this is incorrect. Okay. Now under cognitivism itself, in our table we have studied that there are two type of cognitivism theory: moral realism and moral anti-realism. Okay. And there is third one also, quasi, that we will study. So the first one is moral realism. Okay. So what it says that it believes that moral statements are objective facts. Moral statements are objective facts. So coming back to this part, that we have seen that cognitivism says that there are some declarative statements either true or false, and the first category in cognitivism, that is moral realism, says that these declarative statements or the moral statements, they come from the objective facts. Okay. If we have directly some basis, some fact on which basis we are saying true or false, then it comes under moral realism. So example could be that capital punishment is inhuman. So it is true that capital punishment is inhuman. If you are killing someone to punish him, then it will be an inhuman act. Directly it is saying that it is inhuman, that is incorrect, immoral, unethical. So there is a declarative statement and there is a objective fact behind this, because you are killing someone. Okay. So this was moral realism. This will become more clear when we will talk about the second category, that is moral anti-realism. Now what it says, that it believes that moral standards exist. Okay, obviously moral standards should exist because we are talking about the cognitivism part, and it says that there are some declarative statements, declarative moral statements. But what it further says that, but these standards are not objective facts. They are not objective facts but subjective facts. This is the difference. Moral realism says that the moral standards flow from the objective facts, but moral anti-realism says that they flow from subjective facts. Okay, so to make it more clear, it implies that is whether an action is moral depends on the individualistic or cultural interpretation. Okay, so it says that yes, there are some statements you can directly make, this is true, this is false, this is correct, this is incorrect, but they cannot be direct objective facts. They are the subjective facts. It depends upon the individual how he takes, or it depends upon the culture or society how it takes any issue. Okay, so the example is nothing but the example of capital punishment itself. Okay, capital punishment is approved in some cultures, that is in some countries, while it is condemned or it is disapproved in other cultures or countries. Okay, so moral anti-realism is trying to say that yes, there are standards, but you cannot apply these standards directly to all the individuals or all the cultures. In some cultures, there are declarative acceptance of capital punishment, and in some other cultures, they are exactly against capital punishment. Okay, so this is moral anti-realism. So it is, there are some subjective facts behind, that is, or we can say subjectivity behind any statement. Okay, and the final one is, that is the next category is non-cognitivism. The non-cognitivism part, that is this part. Let me highlight using blue. So this is the second part, that is non-cognitivism. So obviously this will be the exact opposite of cognitivism. So again recalling, what was cognitivism? It deals with the non-emotional components. So we can say that the non-cognitivism part, it will represent or it will deal with the emotional components of meta-ethics. Okay, so what it further says, that it believes that moral standards do not exist, or we can say that there are not direct declarative moral statements that this will be always be true, this will be always be wrong. We cannot directly say that because it flows from emotions. Okay, so compartmentalization of ethics as true or false is not possible. We cannot directly compartmentalize that yes, these are the things that are always true, that are there are always ethical, these are the things that are always unethical. We cannot say like this. So this is what the non-cognitivism believes. Okay, now under this non-cognitivism there are three categories: emotivism, prescriptivism, expressivism. Okay, so let us understand them one by one. So emotivism says that it believes that moral judgments are not declarative statements. Obviously this is what cognitivism says. Okay, so it believes that moral judgments are not declarative statements about reality but emotional expressions of person. So emotivism is saying that the moral statements flow from emotions of any individual. Okay, so we will be able to properly understand using an example. So a vegetarian gets nausea to see non-veg being consumed. So if there is a vegan person, vegetarian, and he is watching someone eating non-veg, then he will become very uncomfortable. He will suffer from nausea. So this nauseating effect or nauseating feeling describes immorality in action of consuming non-veg. So try to understand that if I am a vegetarian person and I am watching someone who is consuming non-vegetarian food, so I am saying that this action of non-veg consumption is immoral. This is I am saying, but it is flowing not from objective facts, but it is flowing from my emotions. Okay, because I could not I could not directly take that feeling of consuming non-veg and I am suffering from nausea. That's why I am saying that that action is immoral. Maybe that my family members approve non-veg consumption, but I could not, I am not comfortable with that. That's why I am saying that this non-veg consumption is immoral. Okay, so this is flowing from my emotions. It is not flowing from any objective facts. I am not talking about, or we can say that I am not judging immorality and morality on the basis of the issue such that whether you should consume animals or not, whether what is happening to environment or not. We are not judging on that part. Or further, I am not judging on the basis of my religion or my rituals. I am just judging any action on the basis of my own emotion. This is what emotivism says. Okay. Now, the second one is prescriptivism. So it believes that moral judgments are not declarative statements, obviously, about reality, but one's personal prescriptions. So what it says that obviously it is a part of non-cognitism, so emotional component. So prescriptivism also flows from your emotions. But here, what is happening that if I do not like non-veg consumption, then I will prescribe. Okay, observe the word. Then I will prescribe others also that you should not consume non-veg. This is what prescriptivism says. That is, it flows from one personal prescription. Okay, so if we take another example, a person approves intercaste marriage and recommends to others. Okay, a person thinks that intercaste marriage should happen. Okay, this is a morality fact that is flowing from his own thoughts and emotion, and he is also recommending to others in the society. This is the prescriptivism. And the third type of branch under non-cognitism is expressivism. And what it says, it implies that moral judgments are mere expression of one's position. Okay, they are mere expression. So what it's we can understand by taking the second statement that unlike prescriptivism, expressivism does not recommend any moral principle to other. This is important. That is, if I think that that if I feel nauseating, I am not comfortable with non-veg consumption, so I will say that yes, I will not consume non-veg. This is my moral principle. Okay, but I am not recommending others that you should also not consume non-veg. So here I am not prescribing others. I am just expressing my own view. This is what simply expressivism says. Okay. So unlike prescriptivism, expressivism does not recommend any moral principle to others. It does not. It does not recommend. Okay. So this was expressivism. Now, if we again go back to our classification, then we have classified into three categories: cognitism, non-cognitism, and the quasi-realism. So we have discussed about cognitism. It says that there are some declarative statements about moral, what is moral, what is immoral. Non-cognitism, that we cannot directly say this because it flows from emotions. And the third is quasi-realism. Now what is quasi-realism? it is somewhat a mixture of these two. Okay, so quasi-realism, it is the admixture of both cognitivism and non-cognitivism. Okay, what it means is that it believes that ethical claims can be appropriately called right or wrong, but they are not universal moral standards. Okay, so try to understand. This theory is saying that some statements, some ethical claims, some statements or some actions, they can be appropriately called right or wrong. So when it is saying that we can call some action or issue or some situation to be right or wrong, then you are declaring you are giving declarative statements about the situation. So it comes on the domain of cognitivism. But it further says that they are not universal moral standards. Okay, so not universal moral standards, it implies that there could be some emotional component in that. That's why you are not finally declaring that. So it implies that this comes under the non-cognitivism domain. So it is a mixture of somewhat the declarative statements, that is cognitivism, and non-declarative statements, non-cognitivism. Okay, so this was the first classification of metaethics. Again, going back to our original table, metaethics we have classified on the basis of two categories: first classification and second classification. We have just covered first classification, that is cognitivism, non-cognitivism, and quasi-realism. Okay, mainly we have to understand these two part, cognitivism and non-cognitivism only. Again revising, cognitivism simply says that you can, or we should first say that it pertains to non-emotional component, only non-emotional component, and on the basis of that you can finally declare what is right, what is wrong. And non-cognitivism says that there are some emotional background of for declaring some statements to be right or wrong. Okay, and under cognitivism there is moral realism and moral anti-realism. And moral realism was saying that the basis of these declarative statements are objective facts, and moral anti-realism was saying that the basis is subjective facts. Okay, and coming to non-cognitivism, the first one was emotivism. So it says that your morality or immorality flow from your emotions. Prescriptivism says that if you have some set principles, then you also prescribe to others, that is prescriptivism. And expressivism says that you are just holding on to your position, but you are not prescribing to others. Okay, and finally quasi-realism is a mixture of both cognitivism, non-cognitivism, that is non-emotional aspect and also emotional aspect. Okay, so this was first classification of metaethics. Now we will come to the second classification of metaethics only. We have not deal with normative, we are still under the metaethics part.